Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name is Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. After I recorded last week, I did move the sheep into the grass area out here, and they enjoyed the very little amount of green grass that there was. I only kept them in there for 4 days, and by then they had eaten all of the good stuff, and they were really starting to push on the fences, and I didn't want them to completely pull everything out. So there's a slight green tinge still in there, and I've closed it back off again, forked through the hay in their bale ring holder. I never get the name right. And so that it's like spread out so they can get the last bits from in there. And I'm hoping that we get a little bit more rain. Again, no rain, still that green drought thing happening here. um, a little bit more moisture on the ground and some nice weather, to be able to get that grass regrowing quite quickly. And then I'll just keep like back and forwards, putting them in and out of that area until we finally get some proper growth and rain. Business wise, I have been really busy. I had a market last weekend in Kyneton, and yesterday, as this goes live, I would have been in Mornington. So I'm actually preparing for that this afternoon. Going to pack the car, get my systems all sorted out, and get up bright and early tomorrow morning to go there. So if you were at Kyneton or Mornington, hi, and thank you for stopping by. I really do enjoy those markets. They're the all about fibre and yarn markets. So um, two in a row, like 2 weekends in a row is a little much, but I do still enjoy them. And then I'm looking forward to taking a few weeks off before going to Coburg on the 14th and 15th of June for the Victorian Knitters and Crocheters Guild. So that will be big over 2 days, and I'm doing lots of preparation for that now. Lots of dyeing of things that are not going to be going with me to Mornington tomorrow, my time, but things that will be going to Coburg in a few weeks. And I'm really excited about these. I've been working on some new colours and putting together some packs. So let me show you some of the colours that I have been playing with. Here is just a bit of a overview. So I'm doing some solid bright colours that will be contrasts, either borders for shawls or toes for socks, that kind of thing. Well, not all bright. This is a very sort of light purple, um, clearly a very bright green, a nice different bright orange, and a bright blue. And it's been fun getting these dyed up. I think it's 14 colours that I use, sort of some warms and some cools, a black, um, a specific pink, a few things like that. And then I mix everything else from there. And depending on the amount of water, the intensity of the dye that I put in, the amount of yarn that you put in, how you place it, you can come up with almost every single color, which is really, really exciting and fun to play around with. I can go into more detail on that if you're interested. I'd happy to spend some time answering some questions about dyeing or talking a bit more in depth about it. But I've had some real fun just playing around with my ratios of color and water to get some really different results to what I have done previously. I've done some more batches of some of the colors I've shown previously, and I've also done this one of a kind. I didn't end up writing a recipe for this one, but it's got some greens and some blues and a few different colored purples in it. So I'll have that one. And then this other variegated one as well, which I'm really loving. I love this green and orange together here with a little touch of pink. So yeah, had so much fun with some different dyeing techniques and colors this past week. So those will all be packaged and labeled and named and everything for Coburg. And before that, I will share the sort of the theme and the ideas, the names and all that kind of thing. So if you do find me there, you'll know what to come and look for. I'll also be doing more of the spindles and yarn bowls and counters and containers as well. They've been quite popular these past few weeks. So getting a few more of those done up. And yeah, these next few weeks will be busy with stock taking from these past few markets and then really getting into the dye pots a bit more and getting things ready for Coburg. First to what I'm wearing this week. This is the Lamina wrap by Amber O'Brien. I'll put the details below along with everything else that I talk about. I used a set of my Wonka skeins. I think I ended up using a full skein of each for this. And then the black, which is actually not black, it's sort of got purple and green undertones through it, is by dyed by hand. It's really beautiful up close. It's just hard to see on the camera. In the pattern, the lace sections are in the colour and the garter sections in between were in the solid, but I decided to reverse it to get this effect with the yarn because I had a lot of this black. It was like a really big skein, and I thought that it would be more effective to have the smaller stripes of the colour, and I really love wearing this. Now, at the Kyneton market, I did purchase something. I always say I'm not going to, and then I do anyway. Hopefully, I don't at Mornington this coming weekend, but we'll see. You'll find out next week if that's the case. I bought two skeins from the Knitting Man Recommends. It is in the Mr. Wuffy base, which is a 12 ply bulky mohair, which is 74% mohair, 24% wool, and 2% nylon. So it's 200 meters per 100 grams. And I bought two skeins. It's called The Secrets Within. There's the tag. Knitting Recommends. And it is, I don't know, I was really drawn to it. It's got sort of all the colors that are really interesting, variegated, moody, jewel tones. So I'm thinking sort of a slip over with some short sleeves, vest kind of thing. Bulky mohair will knit up on like probably a size 6.5 millimeter needles. So shouldn't take too long to knit up when I get to it, and will make a nice layering piece. So yeah, I just could not help myself with those ones. All right, now to active whips. From a few weeks ago, you'll know that there are some other whips that are sitting in a pile, but I have been getting through things. But at the moment, I only have three things that I've been actively working on this week. The first one is a pair of socks. They are beautiful. That's a completely wrong tag. I don't know what that's doing in that bag. Beautiful rainbow from, where's it? Seriously, here it is. Kept pulling out the wrong tag. From Heather May, DK Sock Yarn in the Rainbow Lollipop Pastel colorway. As you can see, it really is that amazing rainbow. And I've added in just a black sock yarn that I'm holding double for the toe heel, and I'm up to the ribbing on the leg. I'm doing a 3x1 rib on the top. I have stopped knitting on these because I was using this as some of my nighttime knitting, and I am certainly not going to do 3x1 rib in the dark with two strands of yarn in black yarn, because I am surely going to miss a stitch here or there. So I will get to those probably on like a beautiful afternoon like it is today at some point. Not today because I've got to pack the car, but yeah, that one should be done soon, and then I will move on to the second one. I'm really enjoying knitting on DK socks. They're a super quick project. You get results really quickly, and I'm looking forward to wearing these when the weather gets a little bit cooler, because it's still not really cool here we are, middle of May, and I'm in a t-shirt. I am very close to finishing my Happy Street. I have used up pretty much all of the stripe colorways. This is Happy Street by Vera Velamaki, and the main color is a Dream in Color club colorway from February 2014. And as you can see, I'm getting through this ball too. So the other colors were 3 colors of Madeline Tosh that I used on my previous Happy Street. And I got down to enough yarn to do 5 of the cream stripe, 5 of the light pink stripe, and then I only got to do 2 of that dark purple. It felt like I had a lot more, but then I forgot to factor in that I've been increasing every row, so it is now really, really long, and I had nowhere near enough yarn to do any more than the 2, which is totally fine. So I am now just working the main color on the bottom, and I can go until I decide I don't want to knit on it anymore, pretty much. I think I'm going to make it at least as wide as a band of the stripes, so it's going to be quite a large section on the bottom of the dark pink. I did 2 rows last night, just before I went to bed. So it's taking quite a while to get through a really large row now, and it is getting to be quite a good size. So I'll just keep going along on that, and at some point in time, I'll decide that we'll bind it off. The other project that I've been working on, and this is where I've been focusing most of my clear thinking knitting time, is a Tess knit by Tess from Fluff and Nonsense, and it is called the Male Clad Vest. I'll put a picture here if I can find one on her Instagram. So it's not a secret test, it is just a test that's out in the world at the moment, and I am really enjoying it so far. I think I showed you my swatches the other week, so we were recommended to swatch in stockinette and also in the twisted stitch pattern, which I did, and I got gauge on a 4mm needle. So I went up a needle size from the recommended pattern to get my gauge, but I think that's totally fine. This is a 5-ply yarn. It is actually also by Fluff and Nonsense. It is her SRS Merino 5-ply, which is 100% non-muled Australian SRS Merino. It's not superwash, and it is in the orange spice colorway, which I really just fell in love with. It's slightly tonal. There's a few variations, dark and light, but as you knit it up, especially with that twisted stitch pattern, it just looks so good. I'm so happy with choosing this yarn for this project. So the test has now started, and I have made some real significant progress so far. I'm just making sure that I don't drop it off my needles. I'm knitting the smallest size, which is probably a little small for me, but we'll see. It's supposed to have negative ease, so it should be all right once it gets blocked out, but it does look quite tiny on these little circumference needles. It is the twisted stitches on the front, twisted rib hem, and then the back is plain stockinette. It has a split hem at the bottom, which is the first time I've ever done a split hem. So, knitting one, knitting the other, and then joining them together. And it has this really beautiful side panel texture as well, which is just stunning. I just love how it's all coming together. So I've done 4 repeats of the pattern, and I am looking forward to continuing to knit on this one. So excited to be sharing this progress with you and to be able to show you the finished garment before the pattern comes out, and hopefully encourage you to go buy it, because I just think it's going to look so good. And yeah, no, I have no words. The fabric is great. I'm glad that I chose the slightly larger needles. And I'm actually looking forward to having a vest. I've been thinking that I should have a vest for a really long time, and when this test knit came up, I jumped on it straight away because I really wanted um, to help Tess out with the test knit, but also to to end up with this really cool pattern. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.